We are back with another daily reflection on the Daily Vedantic. And whether it's the morning, evening, middle of the night, I hope this hits you in the same way it hit me. This episode is on divine discomfort. This concept within Vedanta highlights, it's related to a previous episode where we talked about titiksha, the cultivation of comfort in discomfort. Not just carrying your cross, wearing that burden, but also cultivating a pleasure in that discomfort. A comfort and pleasure in that burden to where you enjoy it. Where you cultivate over time. It doesn't sound, the first time you hear it, doesn't sound too enjoyable. But over time, you start to cultivate a comfort and then pleasure. Whether it's going to the gym, whether it's cold plunges, whether it's helping out the in-law, whether it's being around the in-law, cultivating a comfort, recognizing the aversion and starting to reorient your relationship with that person or that circumstance. This is similar, and this is the divine discomfort. This is in the recognition when it comes to strengthening our inner equipment, the intellect, our two inner equipments, the mind, and that which governs the mind, the intellect, the subtler, more powerful, but vastly underdeveloped for most of us, inner equipment, the intellect. We've said it before, it's kind of like the head and the heart, or the mind being like a 5-year-old child, beautiful. I can't imagine life without my 5-year-old daughter around. It makes life 3 times more dynamic, fun, interesting, fascinating, lovely. But you'd never leave that 5-year-old home alone. The intellect is that adult in the room that helps guide the mind, which is full of likes, dislikes, preferences, feelings. Intellect is that which discerns, discriminates from one option or another, one like or another, short-term, long-term. That power of discernment is the intellect. And divine discomfort is the recognition, the observation that when you're in discomfort and the intellect is saying, this is what is going to generate more energy long-term. This is what we should be doing. This is the service, the surrender, the sacrifice for another. That divine discomfort. That's not just any old discomfort. This is the discomfort that brings us closer to the self, closer to the supreme, the ground of being, God, whatever term you want to give it. Whatever it is cannot be confined in a term, as the phrase goes, a God defined is a God confined, which is, well, ironic to try to do that with that which is infinite. But getting closer to that supreme, that self, as it's referred to in Vedanta, that is in that space where your intellect is saying, this is uncomfortable, but I'm going to stay within this divine discomfort. As they say, the gym rats going to the gyms, get swole, always say, this is where the gains are. It's not in doing a few things fast. It's in doing a few things slow, hard, steady, deliberate, in the midst of immense discomfort. That's where the gains are. That's where the spiritual gains are. That tension when our lower mind is saying, I want to do this, X, Y, Z, fill in the blank. And that higher mind, that intellect, the subtler equipment, is saying, no, I'm not going to do that. That is the divine discomfort. And we can all be thankful when we're in the midst of that divine discomfort, because that is where the real gains are. And that's when the intellect gets stronger and stronger and stronger. The next time, it's not so hard to say, no, we're not going to do that. Time after that, that muscle gets stronger and stronger to where it's no longer any tension. After a while, your intellect is driving the ship. You're not even lured away by that thing that you know might be fun in the short term, might be tasty, but it's only going to be a few seconds on the lips and a lifetime on the hips. My mother-in-law says that. It's a good phrase. So can we go into that divine discomfort where it's a few seconds not on the lips, for a lifetime not on the hips? A few seconds of divine discomfort for the gains that we're ultimately seeking. That's today's episode on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Daily Vedantic. This reflection is part of a free repeating 2-year course in Advaita Vedanta. Rooted in the timeless wisdom of the Upanishads, arguably the oldest philosophical texts on earth, you can begin with episode 1, which gives the 15-minute overview of the whole philosophy of Vedanta, or you can join the journey with any episode at any point. But the critical aspect of this course, of understanding and mastering anything, is to study and reflect, even for 10 to 15 minutes on the timeless each day, preferably at the start of your day. As is said in this philosophy, reflection is 100,000 times as powerful as listening. So listen, journal, sit with, discuss these concepts, or ask questions at thedailyvedantic.com with our AI-powered chatbot, informed by about 700 episodes here, as regularly as one can, if you want to see clarity and peace almost effortlessly unfold in your daily life. And if it doesn't result in a near immediate increase in clarity and peace, then toss aside and feel free to never listen again. One of the things that you might notice is after 7 or 8 days in a row, this doesn't feel like a discipline. This feels like a visit with a best friend to dive into the timeless with daily reflection. Within a few days, it becomes one of your favorite parts of the day. You can also find out more, including news about in-person events in Los Angeles and beyond, at the Daily Vedantic on Instagram, or through our weekly newsletter at thedailyvedantic.com. Additionally, check out the links in our show notes for more resources like the books that are mentioned most frequently in the episodes, including Vedanta Treatise, perhaps the simplest and most straightforward read on this philosophy I've ever come across. Until next time, and from the entire team that works on the Daily Vedantic project, thanks for listening.